Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about LTCN. LTCN pulled back, and so did the other grayscale trusts. Um, should we be worried? Let's get it. So the first thing that I want to show you before we actually get into the charts here is our positions, so you guys can see we no longer have HZEN. We are going to buy back into it in a couple of days. We just took a small profit today. It was supposed to be a couple $100, but it ended up being like about 100 instead. That's, I guess, what we get for using a market order. Probably going to use a limit order next time, but you can see that we still have LTCN. We have not done anything with it, even though it pulled back. In all honesty, if we were going to take profit and get out of LTCN, we probably would have done it at roughly around 17 or 18 bucks, but there's no reason for us to sell when we got a price that's this low. So with that being said, let's get into the content. So as you guys can see on the crypto market as at large as a whole, there's massive pullbacks in crypto right now, with a couple exceptions here. I'm sure there's some other altcoins that are also performing pretty well regardless of the sell-off, but we've had a massive tanking of a lot of crypto prices. So opportunities abound. There's lots of potential buying opportunities right now at a deep discount. This is normal for crypto, just so you all know. That's part of the reason why we didn't really have much of an issue taking profits on any of our positions, with the exception of LTCN while the markets were going up. So let's take a look at LTCN. So we have currently what's called a tweezer top in technical terms. You see these long wicks up here with the bodies down below. That is a tweezer top. That's typically a very, very bearish sign for any given stock or any market or anything like that. And the opposite would obviously be long wicks to the downside with small bodies closes at the top. That's a tweezer bottom. That's very bullish. So this is a tweezer top at the top of a move. That could indicate a potential reversal here. Now, kind of what I'm thinking, if this thing is going to reverse, is it going to go back all the way down here to $2 to like $4, $5 somewhere there? Probably not, honestly. The way the market structure and building levels works is once you get past a certain level and you retest that level of support and then you move higher, generally you're not going to go back down below that previous support. So like, for instance, if we go from this support level here at $2 and we close above this level at, we'll say roughly about $7 to $8, if we come back and test it, which we kind of sort of did and did not here, and then we move into the next area, there's a strong likelihood we're not going to come back and go back below this area. Now, we could retest this area between $7 to $8. That's possible, but I would say probably not likely. We'll just have to wait and see. But is it going to come down to like $2, $3? I highly doubt it. There's only one thing I can think of that would cause that to happen, and that's the Fed cutting rates, us going into a recession, which again is a low probability scenario in my opinion. I've stated my reasons before, but if the yield curve inverts, we could see a huge drop in crypto, like 40, 50, 60%. But again, that's very low probability in my personal opinion, and I've been trading in these markets for pretty close to a decade at this point. So what's likely to happen, in my opinion, is we're going to bounce here somewhere between probably $13 to $15. Maybe at the absolute lowest, we might get a bounce somewhere between maybe $8.50 to $11.50 on the EMAs there. Pretty close to this support, but not quite down there. But I honestly don't even think we're going to come back and test the EMAs. Reason being is because you have all these previous wicks here. If we can hold this as support, we'll probably maybe range somewhere between $26 to $13, I would say, for a little while, until either the spot Bitcoin ETFs come out or, the bull run actually commences sometime at the end of next year. So is it reason to be worried? No. Again, we bought it, our average is $5.50. So if it goes below that, we're just simply going to buy more. But it's probably not going to go below that. If you have an average of like 10 or 12 bucks or something like that, and it goes down here to like $8 or $9, it might be a good opportunity to buy. Not financial advice. That's just what we would do if we were going to take a look at buying the dip. So LTCN, I would say, is overall still bullish. It's still above this support zone here. We have not had a close down below that. We're still above the EMAs. The tweezer top is a little concerning, but it hasn't fully played out yet. We still have 2 trading days, as you can see here, to see what happens. But we also did tell you that the RSI was getting pretty seriously overbought. So it's, we warned you before that that was a warning flag that was popping up on this particular trust. So BCHG, kind of a similar story. RSI is overbought. Does it mean it's going to have a massive 50 to 60% drop? Not necessarily. These things tend to play out in one direction much longer than people expect. That's kind of what is the market saying? Markets can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. That's something to keep in mind when it comes to crypto. So as far as BCHG is concerned, I would say that these zones right here are actually no longer resistance zones because we've pretty much just straight blown past both of them, especially this one down here. So I do not see BCHG coming back down below 250 a share. I would say it could potentially retest and close this gap right here and then move higher. That's possible, but going below this zone in the middle, probably not likely. Now, what we'd want to see is basically a bounce somewhere between 370 to 420, then head back up to this resistance level, and then obviously we're bullish from there. Again, market structure is holding firm here. We had a support that, we basically bounced off of, then we tested resistance, turned that into support, then we tested resistance here, turned that into support. When you see higher highs, higher lows, and resistance levels being broken and basically closed above, that's very bullish. The trend is still intact here. We are still moving up in price. The EMAs are still holding the support. The support level here is still holding. We'll just have to wait and see how that looks. In my opinion, we're still going to wait for BCHG to come back somewhere between 240 to 280 a share to buy. You guys can do what you want. But your next potential buy zone is pretty much going to be somewhere, I would say somewhere between this blue and yellow EMA. So 266 to maybe around 340 a share, and at the highest level somewhere between 380 to about 422 a share. So now we'll take a look at HZEN. So HZEN had a pretty large drop. We plan on picking up some more tomorrow and in the coming days. If it's not going to stop selling off, then we'll just keep picking some up. Do keep in mind this red and blue EMA are about to cross bullish here, so maybe a retest of these EMAs down at 115, and then boom, straight to the upside. As far as HZEN is concerned, I would say we still need to get a close above $2 and kind of retest this to say we're moving higher. So I would say this is still a resistance zone. So if you were going to buy, if any of us were going to buy in this area, probably looking to buy somewhere around maybe 120 a share at the EMAs here, or maybe somewhere between 150 to roughly about maybe 195 a share, I would say is still a pretty good price. Again, you can do what you want with your money. Notice the RSI is starting to poke its head into overbought territory, but it's nothing, not even close to LTCN. You can see the stark difference here. HZEN has a lot of room to run up. And if ZEN, the underlying, does not recover in price by tomorrow's open market session, and I've noticed that the grayscale funds don't actually trade until roughly about 30 minutes after market open. If it doesn't recover by then, the ZEN token, then there's a chance you might be able to buy a dip even lower here on tomorrow's market session. So is it a reason to be concerned that market's pulling back? No. I really don't think so. Nothing's really changed. The SEC hasn't come out and said, yeah, screw you guys, we're not going to approve the ETFs. I was actually just recently exercising and watching some TV, and I noticed like a lot of commercials for different Bitcoin ETFs from both Grayscale and Bitwise. I think if we had reason to worry, the SEC would be threatening to sue these companies for advertising their Bitcoin ETFs before they get approved. We have not seen anything like that. Again, I'm not suggesting the SEC should do something like that. I think they're already kind of getting out of control as it is with their ridiculous rules and stuff. But the advertisements are out there. So as far as I'm concerned, it's still on. The spot Bitcoin ETFs most likely will still be approved before the halving, just my opinion. And again, we did point out that the stocks above the 50 and 200-day moving average are massively overbought. If we take a look at that, you guys can see the clear sell area here and the buy area down here. So crypto and stocks kind of have somewhat of a correlation. And the Bitcoin video that we're doing for all the macro indicators coming out this Friday. So keep a lookout for that. We will go over everything in crypto relating to Bitcoin and whether we think that Bitcoin might potentially be having a top and the crypto might be potentially having a top in the immediate short term or not. So a pullback in the grayscale ETFs, maybe. A full-on dump, I highly doubt it. So anyways, let me know your thoughts below. Hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.